Hey the internet, this is Lock. One thing you need to know about me is I love Fallout. It was one of a brace of late 90s RPGs that I poured hundreds of hours into in my teen years, but something about the world of Fallout in particular kept me coming back to it. The bleak humour informing the really unpredictable stories of larger-than-life characters. The world was bursting with personality in a way that just felt right, like it tapped into the part of our teenage brains that tells us we'd be fine if we could just tear everything down and start again. We'd all wear biker jackets, for sure. So when images started trickling out from the 4out4 teaser, I thought it looked pretty nice. I thought it looked pretty good, but the style was a little different to what we're used to. The direction that they've been going in before, the attempted realism seemed to have been turned down in favor of a stronger art style. The sky was even sky-colored. Wonders will never cease. But the bolder environments, brighter colors, it put me in mind of some other games that started their lives as single-player console-based RPGs before moving on to embrace online play. Now, since I love MMOs and multiplayer in general, and I'm a massive optimist, I assumed it was wishful thinking until someone suggested I check the jobs listings at Bethesda. This is a neat trick, actually. If you're ever wondering about goings-on possibilities, you can piece together a lot if you read between the lines on these listings. So, what did I find, you ask, the wonderfully dutiful audience that you are? I found listings for DevOps engineers asking for experience in live environments for MMO and multiplayer for consoles. My little ears picked up, and I was happy as a clam with ears that can prick up. Now, serious talk. As the delicious Bill Murphy from MMORPG pointed out, this listing could have been a position for the Elder Scrolls Online, the full-blooded MMO that is also under Bethesda Softworks. Now, the reason that I personally find this unlikely is that the requirements for the role explicitly state multiple times in the description the position exists to build a platform, to create a platform. And it's a little late in the day for that as far as ESO is concerned. Also, under preferred experience, we see that the ideal candidate would have experience during product announcement and launch. And again, that ship has sailed for ESO as the game was announced in 2012, and we know that the console version is going live tomorrow. Will it be tomorrow when this video goes up? Add to that a plethora of technical positions for building networks. It looks like a team is being built rather than added to or members being replaced. So what does this mean? I think it means we could well be wandering the wasteland with friends for the first time. Now, we'll find out for sure at E3 this year, but really I doubt it'll come as a surprise to anyone's support for online multiplayer. If the current industry trends hold true, it'll most likely be similar to GTA 5 Online, a sort of open world with lots of stuff to do in it, rather than a classic MMO experience. Still a persistent world shared with many other players. They won't call it an MMO as they don't want to scare people off, but for practical purposes, the description is absolutely applicable. And really, the thought of being able to exist in the world, in the wasteland of Fallout with friends, it just gives me chills. It's something I've always wished was possible, and when you add in the frisson of all those strangers in the world, adding an extra layer of unpredictability, I really can't wait. Like I said, I love Fallout. I think a major reason why the world of Fallout resonates so much with me is that the environment, everything about the environment is so hopeless. But I think that in general, the themes of the games are always very hopeful. Maybe it's something about the common folklore of being British that is resonating. Here, you know, the spirit of the Blitz, the plucky underdog doing the right thing and getting on in the face of tremendous adversity. I think we respect, I think we admire people who can thrive and grow under such pressure, and it creates a link to the humanity of characters that most games never really get close to. You want the characters of the game to succeed against the odds, and I think even other Bethesda games don't really capture this for me. The stories are always rich. The characters can be very bold, very interesting, but ultimately the humanity in a game like an Elder Scrolls game feels somewhat disconnected compared to the Fallout universe. You know, we hear the stories, and some of them are very moving, but they exist almost in isolation against a kind of Tolkien-esque backdrop, which for me is harder to relate to. Somewhat ironically, for a kid who grew up around the areas that inspired much of Middle-earth. Maybe it was because I was closer to Mordor than the Shire. I guess we'll never know. I will be utterly fascinated, though, to see what effect dropping players into that environment with that sensibility, with that kind of mindset will have, to see how much that environment, our game environment, influences the way we treat each other. Now I'm really getting optimistic. I'm stretching it even for me. After all, players are free to make all manner of horrific choices in the Fallout series. Obviously, the most famous being the fate of Megaton at the very start of Fallout 3. And usually in this kind of multiplayer, it's the case that a kind of nihilistic exuberance reigns. Players are drawn to doing the most destructive things that they can, as it's the easiest way to create the biggest impact. The path of least resistance is the one most worn, and all that. So maybe my dream of exploring and surviving the Wasteland will be immediately obliterated by unimaginative players with fat boys and no empathy. But I'm the kind of optimist that believes we can build something better out of the Wasteland, and maybe that's why I love Fallout so much. Please leave a comment below. Tell us why you love Fallout. Tell us why, tell us why multiplayer is a terrible idea and you think it's an awful thing that that they're doing. Give this video a like if you're excited for Fallout 4, and subscribe for many and varied things from lots of wonderful people. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye!
Make sure to level up your MMO knowledge by visiting MMORPG.com, subscribing to our YouTube channel, and by following us on social media. To catch up on the week's biggest MMO news, watch our latest MMO FTW. And to see if there's a better MMO out there for you, watch one of our latest First Impressions videos. Thanks for watching.